Mr. Henry Kwek.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, it's beyond 8 o'clock. We have worked hard and deserve to be tired. But fatigues aside, hearing the insights from my colleagues here remind me why Parliament inspires. The scale and scope of these ideas today can only be described as breathtaking. Let me sum up the debate. Aging is universal. Leon described it as an inescapable part of the human condition. Therefore, the members of this House believe that dealing with aging starts with ourselves. Cheryl calls for seniors to cultivate the undefeated mind, one filled with hope, will, and imagination. Cheryl and Lily pointed out that we are personally responsible for our health, otherwise we will not enjoy our long life. Yong cautioned us to be wise in estate planning, better for our seniors to make wills and therefore have more control over their fates. At the same time, we must also plan for unexpected situations, and that's why Cheryl encouraged seniors over 55 to sign up for LPAs. Many of my colleagues here believe that after the individual, the next line of responsibilities lie clearly with the families. Both Rahayu and Yong suggested the Tribunal for Maintenance of Family can do more and move into education and counseling, as well as to be more bold in enforcement. Yong came up with the excellent idea, which is to make children who benefit from the transfer of properties responsible for their parents. Intan made a similar idea. But as Yong said, while the government can work hard to ensure that families step up, we must, quote, do not and must not abrogate the basic human values of filial piety, unquote. After all, one can't legislate filial piety. We must all be filial, however, because as Dr. Intan mentioned, it is the right thing to do. Yong also shared that we have obligations even if there is no love. And as Heng Long shared, being a dutiful caregiver to our parents is not just a responsibility, but it can also be one we derive joy from. Helping our ailing parents is an intimate process. It promises the possibilities of transforming and deepening our precious relationships with those closest with us. Therefore, Tiempo, Intan, and Rahayu calls for all of us, government, society, community, to do what is necessary to promote the right values. I fully concur. Just earlier this year, my constituency started teaching that through Confucius Tizikui, and I look forward to encouraging similar courses through other cultural lenses. Today, we also talk about more support for caregivers. Joan Heng Long and myself spoke about caregiver leave so that our seniors will not be faced with the trauma of sickness and hospital visits alone. This will provide some comfort to caregivers. Heng Leong also suggested more tax relief for caregivers, and Cheryl suggested more generous subsidies for caregiver services. Next, we must also ensure that seniors are on the right side of the digital divide. Pei Ling mentioned that we should strive to ensure both the hardware and hardware are elderly friendly, and we should not just be talking about technology, but also processes. I would like to add to Pei Ling's point that the smart nation would not leave its wisest residents behind. Joan and Tiempo and Pei Ling also asked us to tap on the full possibilities of digital elder care and calls for the government to limit the downside of embracing everything digital to our parents. We also spoke about senior housing and monetization of assets. Lily, Pei Ling, and Leon spoke about encouraging and teaching of good designs, building housing close to necessities. Cheryl suggested auditing all towns for such. Rahayu, Tiempo, and Yong spoke about encouraging more reverse mortgage and extend it beyond 4-room HDB flats. I also spoke about more options for private developed assisted living and nursing homes, as well as catalyzing more reverse mortgage for private estates. On the financial side, our speakers acknowledge that the government has done much, but there's always a little bit more room to do more, especially if we can continue to grow our economy and keep our medical costs low. The first line of financial support is actually for our seniors to stay employed and self-reliant. In terms of senior employability, both Lily and Intan asked for a relook at employment and re-employment age. Pei-Ling asked for the government to take the lead in senior employment and to spearhead new designs and job designs and work environment. Leon also spoke about using technology and innovation to expand on employabilities of senior. I concur on his point, and I spoke previously on using the shared economy to do so. Rahayu and Joan asked for us to do more for baby boomers through more charge discounts and for a broader group of seniors. I fully agree on the necessity. Joan, Lily, and Cheryl asked for more support for community health care programs with more emphasis on disease prevention. Pei-Ling, Lily, and Leon also asked the government to accelerate our pace of digital elder care innovation. Tianpo called for more increase in healthcare medical service. And Joan asked for more dementia-friendly communities, as well as getting the review of ElderShield rights. Beyond finance and health, members also believe about emotional well-being. We believe that our seniors, even if they retire, should stay active. As Pei-Ling hopes, we can continue to contribute because we want to. It brings meaning to life. It helps us look forward to the next day. Isn't it not wonderful? As such, Joan proposed the innovative idea of encouraging time banking, which is not just to encourage seniors to volunteer, but also to spur bantering of services between seniors. Lily also suggested a one-stop shop for volunteer advisory. But sometimes, our seniors also need community support, especially on the emotional front. As such, Rahayu, Joan, and Li Hui call for a national rollout of the successful CNS. I fully agree. Getting government support for the coordination through CNS will give our community efforts a big push. Pei-Ling also contributed the refreshing idea to get all Singaporeans conscripted as volunteers to support seniors, 2 days a month with real vocations, real roles and responsibility. Members of this House also spoke about fighting misperceptions. Pei-Ling asked us to stamp out ageism. In fact, I think we must go beyond stamping out ageism. Lily and Leon asked all of us to focus on bringing the best out of our seniors, focusing on the silver dividends rather than worrying about the demographic time bomb. They are right. We are a decisive country, and we think long-term. If we come together as a society, we can get on the right side of aging. The stakes are high for us because all Singaporeans, every member of this chamber, own this challenge together. Let me quote Rahayu. We should always remember that we will all grow old one day. We will all be that statistic, that group that will tap on the government funds that will add to the healthcare costs that would need to be cared for. But beyond the government programs, we must also step up as a society by creating and participating in community activities. And specifically for members in this chamber, we have an added responsibility as the local leader, capable of pulling together hearts, minds, and hands in our own respective area. And so we in this chamber must all step up. Actions speak when words can't. As Pei-Ling put it, a caring and inclusive society cannot be one when citizens only talk about and expect somebody else to do it. We all have a duty to do it. And when we discharge our duties to our families and seniors, we, like Heng Leong, who cared for his fathers, can see the world through his eyes and discover empathy in ourselves and in society. I also like to thank the government for providing such a comprehensive response across 5 ministries. I'm glad to hear from MOS Sam Tan about our government's progressive take towards retirement and re-employment. I take his point that the private sector needs time to get used to the recent change. At the same time, I'd like to remind our seniors that their fate is largely in their own hands. There's no legal limits on when we can stop working, as long as there's a demand for us. If seniors can ensure that skill sets stay relevant, they will be prized for both their skills and wisdom over time. SMS Janil and SMS Amy have shared excellent examples of how we can apply technology to help our seniors. I look forward to continuous innovation from our government. I also deeply appreciate Minister Desmond Lee's promise to relook at URA's developmental control. More flexibility there can do wonders to provide much-needed housing options, especially for our seniors living in private estates. Having said that, it is clear that MND has done much to create new models of housing, especially for the public estates. That is well noted by our public. I thank MSF for its progressive attitude towards encouraging companies to be family-friendly and pushing through the tripartite standard of flexible work arrangement, and for leveraging on the workplace grants. I take MSF's point that companies need time to adjust and adapt before we can pursue further moves. Until then, I appeal for more companies to apply flexible working arrangements to their employers who are caregivers. Loyalty goes both ways. When a company treats employers with compassion, the employers usually respond with passion. On reverse mortgage, I take the point that companies have stopped offering this service, and this is precisely why I think there's a gap, and this gap will grow. I hope that the private sector and the social sector can think hard about meeting these needs. I'm also heartened by SMS Amy Khor's point about confident aging and her progress update upon the Action for Successful Aging. In many areas raised by my fellow MPs, MOH are either already piloting or are scaling up the existing program. As the action plan continues to roll out, I appreciate SMS openness to new ideas. I also appreciate MOH's openness to exploring strengthening the CNS in the coming budget and to conduct regular reviews of excellent healthcare programs such as CHAS. I also like to thank Minister Gan, SMS Amy Khor, for the Action Plan for Successful Aging. It is a remarkable plan, the result of painstaking consultation involving more than 4,000 people. I hope the ideas discussed today will help strengthen our plan. Deputy Speaker, sir, let me now conclude our motion. Some say that Singapore is too forward-orientated from day one. Our founding Prime Minister was all of 36 when he steered a big ship called Singapore, and he was not the youngest one. Since day one, we forced the future on ourselves in every dimension we can think of. When we were still a developing countries, international experts said we couldn't afford MRT, but we went ahead anyway. We built whole industrial estates before companies were interested in coming in. We were one of the few countries that invested in turning water, salt water to fresh and using used water to drinking water in anticipation of our future water needs. Often, our pioneers make sacrifices to afford these projects. I think I understand why. Just like their personal sacrifices to their children, this is our seniors' way of saying to us, we care for you and we do the best for you. We care for you and we do the best for you. Now that we have comfortably crossed our first 50 years, I think we have passed a milestone. Singapore must continue to be future-oriented and continue the torch that our founding fathers have passed on to them. Like the seniors before us, we owe it to our children a duty to build a bright future, sparkling with possibilities. But we should also grow a deeper sense and appreciation of legacy. We must build a nation for all ages with a healthy respect for legacy and experience, where our seniors age successfully and in dignity. Only then, when we have done all this, can we say to our caring seniors who built Singapore, don't worry, we got this covered, and we have you in our hearts. Question put and agreed on, resolved that this House believes that seniors are a gift to society, contributing to a wise and resilient Singapore, and calls on the government to strengthen our support for seniors to age with dignity and to spearhead community efforts to create a society where our seniors can thrive. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent speech, Mr. Kwek, but a slight technicality. Yes. In future, please refer to your parliamentary colleagues in a slightly more formal way than calling them out by their first names.
Well noted, Deputy Speaker.
Now, the question is that this House recognizes that seniors are a gift to our society, contributing to a wise and resilient Singapore, and calls on the government to continue strengthening support for seniors to age with dignity and spearhead community efforts to create a society where they can thrive. As many as are of that opinion, say aye. To the contrary, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Leader of the House.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that Parliament do now adjourn to Monday, 19th February 2018.
The question is that Parliament do now adjourn to Monday, 19th of February 2018. As many as are of that opinion, say aye. To the contrary, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Order, order.